So my name's Anya. I'm currently leading the UX team at Stellar Cyber. So my background is mostly in design, but actually I have a pretty interesting background because I have a very diverse experience set in a way. So I also studied CS for a little bit and also a bit of liberal arts. So I have like a very holistic view on things, and I think that's to my advantage. So I'm like somewhat more technical as a designer. I understand software engineering. So yeah. Yeah, I think especially as designers, it's so important to understand the domain and the product that you're working with and the users. There's some people, some designers who are mostly prized based on like their visual design skills, but I think in terms of like full-fledged product design, you really need a lot more than just like the surface level understanding. And so I find that designers who don't try to understand the domain and the product and user space as much, they're relying on other people to make design decisions. And that doesn't usually turn out for the best. You want designers making the design decisions. So yeah, it's really important to be well informed, have a deep understanding. For sure. So I definitely think that designing for a very technical product is one particular challenge. It's always a process of, because I think what you want to keep in mind is even though the users are technical, they still want things to be easy. So you have to understand where their mental models are. So like specifically what their technical knowledge is and try to make that simple for them. So there's definitely that kind of empathy that you need to have. Yeah, so I think in the past we didn't skipped over a little bit of that, which it's very I think Stellar Cyber it's the technology is it's like
So
a
good.
advanced technological product, right? So it's very engineering based expertise. And so I think we, in the beginning, we started off like doing more engineering driven design, which I think was probably not the best decision, but we've made a lot of changes in the process. And what I really like is now we have this kind of like this product trio team where it's like you have the PM, you have a UX design leader, and you also have an engineering leader. And together, we're starting off with all the way in front of the discovery process, right? To make sure everyone's included because it's like you really need all the insights from all the different layers in order to make the right decisions, I think. So it's
Absolutely.
important to have UX in early, especially before anyone starts implementing. Yeah, so we're definitely working on this like customer advisory board, which will get regular feedback from customers. And we also have some analytics set up, still being worked on, but essentially that's going to tell us, it gives us some insights on what exactly are the events being triggered in the platform. So that'll be able to tell us like if there's a specific action that's being performed a lot, that probably means that we maybe need to design it a little bit better so that it doesn't need to be like used so often. Yeah, I think what's really going to be interesting to navigate is actually what we found during a lot of customer interviews, user interviews, is there's so many, like even within analysts, there's so many different types of analysts in terms of how they want to engage with the product. There's some who are like super power users, super advanced, and then there's some who are like entry level. They want everything handheld, hand holding. They want things to be explained. And then there's ones who are like more data driven. They want to see the tables. Want to see all the little details. And then there's some who are more like visualization driven. So that's definitely been an interesting thing to navigate. So I think it's really important to design the experience so that you can also adapt to the different personas that you would expect to be involved with the product. That's something that's we try to use like certain like evaluate like third party tools that can help evaluate like color contrast and things like that. That one would be do not skip out on getting direct feedback from the users. Always be talking to them, having a great communication relationship with them. Make sure to get their feedback, especially like if you have early designs like wireframes and you have a friendly customer, I think it's a good idea to interact with them, show them the prototype, and get their feedback, see if it's in the right direction. Because if you miss the mark, it really is super expensive. Yeah, I think there's two things. One that's more basic is was just like making sure like it's just like sometimes the little things really matter, like aesthetically. So we recently released a new theme And it was, so I had the opportunity of being with a customer who were trying it out for the first time, and they like immediately started using it. So I think that was like a really rewarding experience to know that like it's like nothing about the technology of the product change. It was like a navigation change, like navigation restructure, palette change. But those things, right, made such a big difference to the customer.